Hello, Internet. Uh, Happy evening. Good evening. God, it's been a fuzzy day. Sorry. uh, Welcome to the breakaway. Tonight I have dubbed something different out of uh, the uh, the. I haven't played this pile, which is actually bigger than I thought it was going to be. Just get myself centered here. We're playing tonight Arctic Scavengers. This is a deck building game that has a solo component. Box here by Rio Grande Games. There was a Kickstarter for this, but it showed up in stores a little while ago. I picked it up for doing something slightly different with the deck builder, especially considering that a lot of them are not very competitive. Inter-player interaction, like you are competing for stuff, but there's very little player interaction. Arctic Scavengers seems to have a lot more, where you're actually actively actively competing with other players. You're attacking them in many cases. Also, the theme is a lot different. It's a post-apocalyptic survival in a nuclear winter type scenario, and of course, a solo player component, which I'm always happy to see. Now, this is the first playthrough I've ever do, so this could be interesting. It's also the solo component, so it's a bit of a stripped-down version. So basically, what we have here, and under normal circumstances, there will be other players, and we're competing for specific resources that are out in the wild. So we have my own tribe of survivors, which is represented by my starter deck of 10 cards. We have out in front here, we have a series of 10 mercenaries that can be hired into my deck. Well, let me go left side there. So these face up cards are mercenaries that I can hire in as long as I have the appropriate cost to recruit to attract them. So either food or medical supplies, where people would be really interested. Over here, I have a junk pile that I can go digging through to try to get supplies. And up at the top are 7 piles of what would normally in the game be contested resources, which would be things that we as players would be competing for. But since there's no other players, they've been divided into 7 piles as an increasingly strong set of opponent tribes that I will need to try to raid. I have a countdown timer. Every time I reshuffle my deck, after the first time, I have to remove the top card from it. And it could be something good. So I need to make sure that I'm trying to plow through these 7 piles as efficiently as possible before my entire deck runs out or I run out of the good stuff. Over here on the right down here is my my tribe leader card. This is part of one of the expansion content. Part of the expansion content. So before we get started, I'm going to put on some music. I found something called Chill Step, which I had no idea existed. So again, if music gets too loud, somebody please let me know. I will be happy to turn it down. So I'm not entirely sure what Chill Step sounds like. It just sounded like wintry. So we'll see how that works out. All right, so let's take a look at my. Sorry, just lost control. My wireless decided to switch from the studio wireless to the office wireless, and that meant I lost my connection to OBS. There we go. All right, so this is my tribe leader. So once each round, I may play a refugee to increase the power of another tribe mate's hunt or dig actions by 2. So refugee is about the default level card that I can have in my hand. So let's take a look. So I'm going to shuffle myself my my main 5 cards, and then we'll take a look at what I got in detail. I got a new. I set up my second close-up webcam a little bit differently this time. So it's going to be a weird angle, but at least it'll give you an idea of what I'm going to have in my starting hand. So 5 cards. I have a spear, a brawler, a refugee, as I indicated, the base level scavenger, and another scavenger. So notice on the right side of the cards there are symbols. These are basically what they do. So if you take a look at the Scavenger, it'll give me one draw. Has a one draw skill, one dig skill, one hunt skill, one combat skill, and counts as one person. So we have 2 Scavengers. We then have Refugees who have 0 initial innate skills. Also, they act as they've got food as currency. So these is part of the things that will allow me to attract players. Refugees here have 0 food so nobody's really attracted to a tribe that is full of refugees. And by default, they have 0 in the skill slots, but they can still use tools to allow them to dig or hunt. And I also have a Brawler who will give me, he's worth 2 food as a cost, and he'll give me 1 dig, and 2 fight counts as 1 tribe member. And then I have a Spear. Spear bumps up hunt and bumps up combat. So now I have to decide what actions I want to take. I could choose to draw. I could use to dig through the junk pile. I could choose to hunt to get more food, which will allow me to recruit mercenaries. Or I can choose to, after that, I can choose to go into combat with one of the piles. So I can hold stuff back if I choose to. So I got quite a bit of, I'm curious, maybe I'll go after the first pile. It looks like I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fight. Pardon me. But that would leave me with nothing else to do because the refugees, I'd have to use all of these cards for the fight and hold none of them back to either dig or recruit anybody. And I do have another turn before I really need to commit. The problem is I'm going to lose a card before I cycle through my deck. And I think there's another Scavenger in there, but the rest of my hand is probably going to be mostly refugees. And I do have another piece of equipment in there. I believe it's a shovel. So what I'm going to decide to do is I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to skip any of the other actions. And I'm going to go ahead and initiate a combat with the first pile. So we're going to see what we've got in this pile here. So there's no going back after this one. So I've got my combat committed. The refugee's doing nothing, so he stays out of there. And I've got my combat committed. I actually didn't see what needs to happen in cases of combat against one of these piles. So what we have here is oh dear. Well, this may have been a miscalculation. I have wrong. I have a sled team, thugs, which are mercenaries that I could also purchase, but are extremely effective combat units, and a grenade, which adds +3 to their combat, which brings it up to a total of 7, which is 1 more than I have. So let's just verify what happens when I lose. Select one of the available opponents. Send in this during skirmish resolution. Assume the opponent will take the most favorable action using tear gas on your strongest member. So there's no actions to take here. It's just a total. If you win, take 1 card from the opponent's skirmish force as a prize and place it in your discard pile. If you lose, you must permanently remove 1 card from your skirmish force and set it aside. The card you remove is your choice. Whether you win or lose, the opponent's remaining skirmish force should be removed plus place. Thus, even each of the 7 forces are only counted once. And I'm guessing these guys all attack in at once here. So yeah, the sum of the fight values. So I unfortunately have to permanently lose 1 of my scavenging force. So I'm not going to meet these guys again. I've lost everything out of that, so I'm never going to get a card. So I'm going to choose out of my 2 Scavengers and my Brawler. I've got another Scavenger in the deck. I'm going to get rid of him and keep the Scavenger, Brawler, and Spear. So unfortunately, not a very successful first round. I guess I should have dug for a little bit more, but I thought I had a pretty good hand there. And frankly, there's like, that was a really off, like really, hopefully the rest of the piles are a lot easier after this. So now I got my next hand of 5 cards. I'm going to need to put to dig for something. Yeah. So I've got a refugee. Actually, 3 refugees who do basically nothing for me. They're not really going to help at all. And I have 1 scavenger who I can attach a shovel to. So that'll give me either a total of 1 food to recruit with, or you know what? I'm actually going to use the scavenger separately to recruit. There should be something I can grab for 1 food. Yeah, I can grab. I can grab the hardy scavenger for 1 food and add that to my deck. Or no, I don't have enough medicine. Yeah, that's it. It's just the hardy scavenger, but it's better than nothing. And I can't because I can't really hunt. Yeah. So we're going to use one of the refugees in the shovel to dig. So that means is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take, my dig value is 2. I'm going to take the top 2 cards from the dig pile. And I get to choose 1 and put it in my discard pile. So I got a multi-tool, which gives me +1 to dig, fight, and hunt, or pills, which gives me 1 medicine without having to actually have somebody to use it. So I just have it. Which is kind of good for recruiting. I've got a lot of guys who require 1 or 2 medicine. So I think I'm going to take, as tempting as the multi-tool is, I think I'm going to take the pills. So those go in my discard pile. And I place the other card at the bottom of the junk pile. So I've used these refugees in the shovel, and I'm going to use the scavenger to get me a hardy scavenger and put that at the top of my deck. So now I would go back to draw, and I have nothing in my draw pile, so I have to reshuffle. And after I shuffle, I have to toss the top card of my deck. Look at this chill step. Not all that bad for this. I hope it's coming through okay. All right, so let's see what I lost. How much you want to bet it's going to be the pills that I just picked up? No, luck all luck. It's a refugee, a completely useless card that I'm glad to get rid of. So off that goes, and I draw my 5. We got Scavenger, Brawler, Refugee, Pills, and a Spear. All right. So I got a lot of dig going on here. I got a little bit of dig, sorry. I got a lot of fight, again, tempting. But I remember what happened to me last time. But let's see, I got 3 food and 1 medicine. If I send the refugee out to hunt, I've actually got 4 food and 1 medicine. So let's see here. The group leaders who are excellent at boosting is like +2 to everything is 2 food and 2 medicine. I don't have enough medicine, so they're not going to come along. Sniper team's the same thing. My total is 5, so I can't grab the thugs, which would be nice. Hello, Frack and Phoenix. Welcome to the channel. We're playing Arctic Scavengers. I'm trying to decide here what I'm going to pick up. Scrappers I have enough for. Scrappers improve my dig and fight. And I could also pull things down from the bottom of the pile. But I definitely think I'm going to need some more help on the fight side. So I'm looking at brawlers or scouts here. And how are you doing this evening? Let's go ahead and I'm not going to really need to hunt. So let's go ahead and pick up the Scout. So the Scout's going to go in my discard pile. And we move on to the next round. Okay, so I got my 5. Let's see what we got here. We got a Scavenger again. Useless Refugee. Well, semi-useless. We've got a Shovel that we can, one of them can use. Another Refugee. And also the Hardy Scavenger. If you don't win the skirmish, return any Hardy Scavengers back to your hand. You still draw a normal starting hand. That would be good if I go in for a skirmish, but I don't think I've got enough fight right now to go into that next skirmish pile. It's going to be harder than the other. Well, it might be harder than the other one. Really bad first skirmish here. I've got the Shovel, so it might be time to dig. Let's go ahead for a dig here. We'll use the Shovel, the Scavenger, and the 2 Scavengers together. That'll give me 4 digs, so I'll draw 4 cards from the Junkyard pile. Let's see what we got. We got Junk, of course, so completely useless. Hopefully we don't get too much of that. I have another Spear, which could be very useful for the skirmishes later on. More Junk, which is starting to make that Spear look really good. And another Multi-Tool. So it's obviously between, pick one of these. It's going to be between the Spear and the Multi-Tool. Since I really, really don't want any junk. That'll go to the bottom of the deck. I'm leaning toward the Spear. I guess I need some more combat value, so I'm probably going to take that Spear. We'll put that on top of my deck, discard pile, and I've nothing left to really do anything. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next round, which means the Shuffle, and I lose the top card of my deck. And last time I got lucky and dropped a Refugee, so hopefully this time, fingers crossed, I will drop another Refugee. Oh, I gotta remember my tribe leader's power too. I totally forgot that if I play a Refugee to increase the power of another tribe member's hunt or dig action, I could have used that to dig for 2 more cards. All right, top card is a Refugee. So, no problems there. It's not that kind of junk, though. I think they would have had a problem also if they had printed a whole bunch of cards with junk on it. Or expanded the game for an entirely different audience. So, next hand. The last Refugee, or I think I might actually get 2 Refugees in the deck. Refugee, Scavenger, the other Refugee. A Shovel, looks like it's going to be dig time, and a Scavenger. So let's go ahead for a dig. So go ahead for a dig. We got 2 Scavengers. We'll attach a Shovel to one, and the Refugee using the Peacemaker on the other. So we're going to be digging for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. So I'm going to use this cam here at a little bit wider angle so we can see the 6 cards. And we got more pills. Useful. More pills. And remember, I can only pick one here. Pickaxe, which is good for digging and for combat. A net for combat, for hunting and combat. Another multi-tool, and a shovel. Again, really looking for those combat options here. The not much in the way of medicine in my deck. So I think I'm going to go ahead and grab the pills out of all of this useful stuff. No junk this time. I didn't dig into any junk. And that'll go in my discard pile, so I'll have that for next turn. And I think I'm going to have to start tackling some of these skirmish piles here. So hopefully I've got a good hand for combat coming up. Good. The Brawler. Brawler's good. Brawler with a spear is even better, giving me a 4. Another spear. If I got somebody to use it, that would be good. Pills. Not so useful here. Scout. Again, good for combat. Can use the spear. Hardy Scavenger. I can bring him back to my hand. Can I use... I can't really use the meta... Oh, Saboteur. Let's see, we got Saboteur. I can play for 1 food. Whoops. 1 food and 1 medicine. Disarm 1 tool card, so that would, like the grenade that I got last time, he would be useful for that, and it would give an extra card to my deck. So let's go ahead and use the Scavenger and the pills to pick up the Saboteur. Put that in my deck, and then use the remaining cards to take on the next pile of the next skirmish pile. And so let's see what we got here. Tribe Family doesn't do anything for combat, so that's pretty good. Another Tribe Family. That's going to be a complete blowout here. They have 0 combat value against my combat value of 8. Basically, and nothing horribly useful other than the tribal hunters, although the families are worth points. Adding more people to my... They just clog my deck, but adding more people will give me a better value at the end of the game when I calculate the score. Really, probably going to take the tribal hunters, just because I need something to help me out, and none of this helps me out. So that was a way too easy pile, which explains the way hard pile I had as the first one. It only had 3 cards in it, but it had a total combat value of 7. Which I would have barely beat with this hand, let alone another one. All right, so moving on to the next round. I really need some card sleeves for these. These cards work horribly and take a lot of shuffling. All right, top card goes away. Again, fingers crossed, it's nothing. Brawler, that's not good. So we lost the Brawler to the cold and some of our combat value, so that goes away. And now our 5, we've got pills. Pills, we got a party going on. The Hardy Scavenger, a Spear, and another Spear, which is useless because you can't use 2 spears. So in total, I'm going to have... There's no combat out of this, so this is not going to be useful for combat. So I can't even really hunt, because that'll only give me the 1 food, or 2 food. No, actually, so hunting is a good idea. It'll give me a total of 2 food, which will increase that. So 2 food and 2 pills will give me the ability to pick up the Sniper Team, which means I can force the discard of a card on the opposite side, which is useful, or the group leaders that boost pretty much everything. Tempting. Let's go with the group leaders. Hopefully we can get a sniper on a next turn. So that'll end that. Let's see what we got on my next hand. We have the Scout. So I can use the Scout to draw, though, instead of using her for combat. So we'll see what the rest of the hand has. Saboteur. A Refugee. Scavenger, and another Refugee. So definitely not going into combat, which means that the Scout is essentially useless, so we'll use her right away to draw 2 more cards, which are another Scavenger, and the Tribal Hunters, which means, once again, hunting will give me 3. Digging will also give me 3. So I could use a medic. I could buy a medic for 3 food, or I could dig 3 cards into the scavenging pile. Let's go ahead and hunt. We'll take the 3 food and grab the medic. So medic goes into the discard pile. Whoop, wrong side. Nope. I have one card left, so I'll need to shuffle for the others, which means I'll lose another card from the top of my deck. And we are losing our Hardy Scavenger, which bought a little while ago, which is okay. I'm kind of okay with that compared to some of the other cards that I could have lost. And what we've got in my hand this round is a shovel, group leaders, Scavenger, spear. Can I get another person? That would be pretty good. Nope, another spear. So a lot of equipment and not a lot of people. Unless I'm dumping the Scavenger to draw. Draw 3 with the Scavenger. Let's actually do that. Take the Scavenger and draw 3. I've got some people in here. So I'll use the draw action with the group leaders to draw another 3 cards. So we got the Medic, Refugee, and a Saboteur. This was not an let's drop the... I can't do the draw again. I already did my draw action. Oh, boy. But I can't... No, I can't hunt with the Medic. I can't hunt with the Saboteur either. Okay, so Shovel and the Saboteur, we are going to dig for 3 cards. We are going to get a multi-tool, pickaxe, and everybody's favorite, junk. So I'm going to go with the multi-tool this time. Put that on the top of my deck. To the junk and the other one go down at the bottom. Refugee, so I got a refugee and a medic left. Can hunt with the refugee to get 1 meat and food, and I've got 1 medicine from the medic. That'll get me another Saboteur, which again, good for combat. Either that or another Hardy Scavenger. But he's not good for combat. So let's go ahead and get the Saboteur. And I just drew through half my deck there, so I hope I have good enough cards for another draw without having to lose one. Let's get some good combat cards in here. Let's see what that next skirmish pile is. Okay, I've got the Scout, 2 combat. Pills, not good for combat. Pills, not good for combat. Refugee, and a Scavenger. So this did not turn out to be a great combat hand. So it looks like we'll be hunting. So Scout, draw 2 cards. I've only got the 1. So the Tribal Hunter's got to shuffle and lose 1 again. The cold's really, really getting to them. And I got to remember, I still got a refugee. Is that a refugee in there? Yeah, I still got a refugee. And I can use a refugee to increase somebody else's hunter dig. So we are losing. Fingers crossed. A Saboteur, probably the one I just picked up. So that was a blown round. And then the last card we're picking up is a Spear. All right, so 2 medicine. The refugee can bump up the Scavenger's hunt to 3, and the Spear can help with the Tribal Hunter, so to bring that up to a total of 5. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Thugs, which takes 6 total, and add that. So that's a 3 combat value, so that's particularly useful. Oops, I have no discard pile. So hopefully on a future turn I'll grab that. That'll be good for combat. All right, next hand. A Refugee. They have 2 in the deck and they keep showing up. Another Scout. Saboteur. It's 3 combat so far. multi-tool, and a spear. So that'll give me a total of 6 combat. Man, I really wish I paid more attention to what... Oops, close-up cam. You are drunk. You got into the pills, didn't you? Could use the scout. See if I can draw some more cards, but I forget what's in there, and it's not bad on the combat value. I'm going to have to lose another card next turn anyway. So let's see if I can bump that combat value. Oh, is there anything better than the scout? I really want to just get rid of the refugee, really. All right. Let's go ahead with, well, we'll go ahead with the skirmish. I got 6 combat. Fingers crossed it's going to work out well. So let's take a look at what we've got in the next pile. So we got 4 cards. Combat medics. They got a +1 combat, and they can block a snipe, but I don't have a sniper, so that's okay. Cargo sled doesn't help with combat, so we still have 1. Tribal hunters brings it to 2, and tribal hunters brings it to 3, which means I will win the skirmish. And now I get to choose one of these cards. Combat medics seem pretty good to me compared to all this other stuff. So let's go ahead and grab that one and put that in my deck. And how many cards I got here? 4, which means I'm going to need to reshuffle and lose something. This is really, really harsh to have to lose something. It doesn't do that in the main game. It's just to add an extra timer to making sure that you and a little bit of difficulty. So we are losing the multi-tool. I have to dig through all that junk for that multi-tool. I have to throw it out. All right, and the extra card. So let's see what we got in my hand. We have a shovel, the medic, scavenger. Oops, sorry. Scavenger. Ooh, it's hard. It's the camera's upside down. Group leaders, that's good. And a refugee, which I can still add to dig or hunt total. The only one who doesn't fit in here is the medic, so I'm going to go ahead and use the draw action to grab the scout, who doesn't fit in here either. Although, I do have a fairly good combat score of 6, and I have been lucky lately. Really wish I didn't have this refugee here. Well, if anything, I can lose the refugee. If I lose the skirmish, I can lose the refugee from it. So let's go ahead and put that toward the skirmish, and let's see what we got in this next pile, which has 5 cards in it. Demolition team. 2 combat. Reset a buildings build timer, but we don't have buildings in this particular. This is part of the expansion. Tribal hunters provide no combat. Tribal hunters provide 1 combat. We're up to 3. 4. Tear gas. Select 1 opponent and reduce its fight or bonus to fight to 0. So I'm going to choose the... Oh, yeah, it'll choose the best option. So that'll be the scout, which will reduce that to 0 and give me a total of 4, which is a tie, which I have to check into what a tie does. Which it doesn't explain on this, so... Okay, in the event of a tie, each person sums up the number of people involved in the skirmish. And the people with the most people, the side with the most people wins. So they obviously have, like, they've got 11 people and a tear gas grenade, and I've got 5. So I unfortunately lose that. We're going to lose the refugees, and all of this goes away. So we've only got 3 piles left. Unfortunately, didn't win that one. But I did manage to clear up the refugees, so that's pretty good. Oh, I wasn't supposed to shuffle. Oh well. I won't do anything too much. Nothing went right back to the top of the deck, so it's not that bad. So my next hand, Combat Medics, Scavenger, Thugs, Pills and Pills together again. Oh, sorry. Slow. The Thugs are pretty, like, I've got a lot of medicine here. That'll get me some scrappers, which are helpful for digging and combat, but I wish that the Thugs had come in on a combat hand and not, they gave me a total of 4 medicine and 1 meat, 1 food, which isn't enough to get another set of Thugs, unfortunately. It's not enough food to get a sniper team. So let's go ahead and grab the scrappers. And we draw our next 5, which is good. That's exactly what I have. We got a spear, a saboteur, a refugee, tribal hunters, and a spear. So I guess I'm going hunting. Again, what do we got here? So we got 2 spears. We can add it to the tribal hunters. That's a 2. 3? That's not a lot. But is enough food to grab a medic or a brawler. We can also dig 1. So let's start with the dig action. We gotta get a spear, which I'm okay with, as long as I get a good hand of stuff. So that's the saboteur for the dig action. I suppose I could have used the refugee on him, but yeah, if I'm gonna go for the brawler, let's use the refugee on him. Let's grab a couple more. So the spear was out there. Let's see what else we got. Junk and a net. Actually, let's go with the net. No, I'm sticking with the spear. I want the combat value. The net only has a +1 combat value, so that was actually useless. And then we're going to use... Oh, keep going to the right-hand side. We're going to grab a brawler and reshuffle. So I think from the scoring perspective, I'm not going to do very well here because I need resources from these piles. And so far I've only grabbed 2, I think, and there's 3 left, and they're going to be pretty hard. So we're losing the top card, which is the group leaders. Oh, this one hurts. And the hand will be Pills. If this follows Pills again. Oh, finally, Tribal Hunters. Pills and Tribal Hunters with a spear, combat medics, and scavengers. Well, I can get... I've got enough medicine. I've got 3 medicine, and if I put the spear and the tribal hunters on a scavenger, that'll give me 4 food. So 4 food and 2 medicine, 3 medicine, which will basically allow me to buy anything I want. And I'm definitely grabbing these thugs. I need some backup on the next hand. On the combat. So hopefully I'll get my thugs again. So I've got scrappers, 2 combat, that's good. Refugee, not so good. Saboteur, pills, there's the other one. And the scavenger. No, not a great hand here. I don't really have I'm not really anything worth digging for the scavenger right now. Looks like we might scrappers. Let's use the refugee. Oh no, let's just go for a whole. Should I go for a whole dig here? I'm only gonna get one or three foods here. If I do a dig, I can go down 7 cards. I don't know if there's anything better in that deck though than like multi-tools. We can find out. 7 cards into the dig. Let's see what happens. We've got junk. Medkit. Medkit seems good. Spear. Already got a lot of those. More junk. Pills. Medkit's better than pills. Another spear. And last one, another net. So let's grab that medkit. That medkit seems pretty good to me. And move on to my next hand. Come on. Combat. Thugs have got to be in there. Spear. Add spear to thugs, please. Brawler. Brawler. It's okay. Thugs. Woo. All right. Looking good. Got 7. Whoops. Medic. If there's a snipe. Spear. So spear on the thugs. Not bad. I think I'm going to go ahead with combat on this. I've got a total of 9. And I've got a medic to save in case we've got a snipe happening. So we are up against a rifle, trad family, grenade, field, you've got to be kidding, and a demolition team. So their total is also 9. You're going to get my best combat hand, and it still doesn't match up. It still doesn't do enough. That is bullshit. Oh my god. I wish I'd used my medic's draw ability. And they definitely have more people. I've got 4, and they've got... Let's just for SNGs, check out what I would have drawn if I... Not that wouldn't have helped. Shovel wouldn't have helped. So I lose again. I think my best possible combat hand, and I lose. I'm going to lose the medic. I need everything else. Wow, that's a bit of a pisser right there. 2 more piles left. Nothing good yet. So I've only got 2 cards, so I got to reshuffle my deck. Okay, come on. Hand, 2 thugs, 2 spears. I wish I had that sniper team now. I don't think I'm going to last long enough. So let's see what we got. We got shovel. Shovel's not starting well. Scout. Stick and draw for cards. We got the spear. Pills. And a scavenger. What a mess of cards we've got here. We only got 5 on the combat, so I'm going to go ahead and dump the scout, use the scout for the draw ability. I've got combat medics and pills. So I have enough medicine. So I have 4 medicine and enough food to, yeah. So that's a total of 6. So we're going to grab this last thugs card and put that in our discard pile. So now all the thugs are in there. I got the whole thug squad. And hopefully I'll get a good chance to finish this last pile up. So, spear. Saboteur. Pull out another grenade on me. Refugee. Not good. Scavenger. And scrappers. Let's use the scavenger to draw. We have tribal hunters. We can use them to get some meat. Not great here. Let's see. I got 5 dig. Two meat will get me another brawler. Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to dig for 5 using the refugee, the scrappers, and the saboteur. And then we are going to pick up, well, let's pick up the brawler right away. And then let's dig. So 5. We got a net, medkit, pickaxe, pills, and pills. Let's take the medkit again. I'm going to put the pickaxe on the top of the deck because I used a scrapper, and the rest goes on the bottom. And let's hope we got our combat hand here. So we've got the 5, we've got thugs, the med kit, a spear, brawler, and thugs. So we now have 10. And not enough to grab anything else, so this med kit's going to be useless here. 10. Let's take a look at the penultimate pile. Can it beat 10? Combat medics. Blocks a snipe action, gives me 1 combat, that's not going to do anything. Tear gas. That's not good. Tribe family, no help. Sled team adds 1. Wolf pack adds a +2. So their total is 4. They're going to knock out one of my thugs with the tear gas. That's going to give me a total of 7. So I finally win one, which seems forever. Not going to take this tribe family. Yes. Team combat medics. Tear gas seems pretty decent. If I can use that in the other one, it would be better to. But I have to have an awfully good hand. I think I'm going to take the wolf pack since it seems the most useful to me. All right. 1 pile left. All right, we lose the top card. It's going to be combat medics. It's okay. Haven't seen any snipe skills in there, so those snipe skill. I don't think there are any snipes in the. If there are, they're all in that last deck. And let's see what we got for our hand. Pills, those lovely pills. Scavenger, spear, scavenger, and the brawler. Wish I had the brawler had come out earlier. We've got 5 total as combat. Probably not going to go with that. 1 medic, 1 medicine isn't all that great here either. Let's just go with a draw action with those scavengers. Giving me thugs. Maybe I will go into combat. Thugs and scout. Spear. That will give me a total of 6, 9. Cross our fingers. Let's take this last pile out. Let's end this. Cargo sled. No combat. Field crew. 2. Tribe family. Nothing. 4 with the wolf pack. 7 with the thug. Oh, you gotta be joking. 9. And of course, I got a bigger family going on. I got 4. Oh, so frustrating. Get all this way. Oh, I was sure that was going to do it. 9, it's a tie. If I'd used the scout, would I have gotten anything better? The saboteur would have disarmed a tool. If I'd lost the scout, I would have gotten... So I got a saboteur, which I could have used to disarm, discard one of the... And refugee. Refugee wouldn't have helped. But if I had discarded... Wolfpack as a tool? Okay. That still would have been even, wouldn't it? 4, 7, 7. Yep. Oh, 8. Sorry. Now, if I'd used the scout to draw 2 more cards, I would have won that one. So I would have dropped the pills, obviously. I kept the scout. And these go away. And so now we take... Ooh! I throw all of my cards onto the floor. Is what I do next. That's a one. Clean these up. Make sure I got everything. All right, and for scoring. So any contested resource in my tribe gives me 2 points. Every other card gives me 1. So we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Which isn't great, from what I understand. Not bad, especially considering it's the first time I actually played this game. But not very good. I mean, we only got 2 contested resources out of a possibility of 7. Then again, it did land a large number of ties, which was kind of annoying. Overall, I love how quick the solo component here plays. You take a look at your hand, you know what you need to do. You grab what you want. There are a lot of cards that just don't synergize well. Where you got to really pay attention. Like the snipe protection is pretty much useless in the base version. You can change the difficulty by adding some other cards to those piles. Making the combat a little bit more difficult. There's also I used a semi-random configuration of mercenaries for me to choose from, and again, some of them ended up being more useful than others. Also, I probably should have paid attention to a couple of other of these, like the hunter, which only cost 1 medicine. Often dismiss the pills. I could have added another hunter to the deck just to get that extra point in there. So there are a couple of kind of wasted rounds where I could have added a little bit more combat strength. But anyway, we're probably going to try to see if I can play this one with a group. The dynamic is a lot different, where these contested resources, is something that you vie for while building your tribe up. So we may see about doing that this weekend. Either that, or I have a Mansions of Madness review going up tomorrow. On the boardgamer.com, we might do a game of Mansions of Madness if I can get the setup to work correctly with the app. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Once again, www.theboardgamer.com has all of my content. That's my reviews, my Kickstarter spotlights, and links to all of my previous game videos, including my Game Night in Canada group ones. And tune in this weekend, sometime probably Friday or Saturday night for Game Night in Canada. And we'll see you then. Have a good evening.